Welcome back, guys. In this video, I will explain you about third part of the report. It speaks about construction of HOQ and relevant information. Okay. Considering our marking criteria, we can see that construction of HOQ should be provided. We should provide the design. Then we should describe each part of the HOQ. Okay, we will be explaining each part of the HOQ as per our understanding, how we created it and what we did. And first, we should identify what are the important parts of the HOQ, and then we start describing how we created each and every part of the HOQ. For any parts of the HOQ which cannot be done because of lack of information, confidentiality, etc., we will be not fixing that. For example, if you take competitor analysis, or if you take some other analysis like technical benchmarking kind of thing, if you don't have in proper information, so you see that, right, we will be giving some numerical values based on our interest to the competitors, right, which is like it seeks some confidentiality, right? If we are not confident about it, like we might be giving some wrong values also, right? For that reason, maybe some people like who really implement a HOQ, what they do is like they don't include that information and they try to analyze it and explain from the third party sources, stating that this is the status of XYZ competitor. Okay, so these like competitor analysis and benchmarking usually get lack of information. For remaining all details, we will be having proper information, and it is fine for us. Like you can also maybe correlation, sometimes correlation part also lacks some information, you can explain that. So maybe like as we know that x and y are correlated to each other, we are including it. For other details, if it is not, you are not confident about the relationship, correlation between those two things, you can say that it is not possible to define about it. Okay, to make it simple, like don't write about it, I'm making it like explaining it just for your information. See, usually what happens is when we have some XYZ number of customer requirements or technical requirements, we try to collect some data related to it, and by using that data, we create correlation details and relationship values. Okay, we need to conduct surveys, statistical analysis to collect details, actual details about it. For example, to say that customer value will be 80% influencing the purchase of the product, we need to conduct some analysis, right? We cannot say just like that. Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, that is why he's asking here to mention about if any like a lack of information or confidentiality issues are there in your document, it should be explained over here. Okay, so broadly this is all about it. So first part is HOQ, that is already completed by you people. Next, describing HOQ, like I clearly mentioned you each and every part of the HOQ and how to include data into the HOQ. Okay, so try to describe different parts of the HOQ and what type of information will be included, and what kind of values you have taken. For example, if for taking customer relative fee values, you have given you have taken rating from 1 to 10, right? So you should mention about it. I'd have taken like 1 to 10 was selected for giving customer importance, and it's a customer requirement priority value, and based on that relative frequencies were calculated, relative values were calculated. In that way you should explain, I mean, for this section. Okay, uh, I myself confused, like whether if you see, see here, like how, why you gave weights for this one, what kind of weight procedure you followed. Okay, so otherwise you can also include 1 2 3 4 5, like between you go 14, right? You can give 14 values, 1 to 14 rating you can take in that way. Okay, it's not required, you can take 1 to 10 also. It all depends on your value. So how you give weights to this one, and how do you give how relative weight was calculated. Again here, what is customer, how you included customer requirements and sorry, the functional requirements, and what is the direction of improvement, why you need to include it, and what is correlation, how you included it. You should mention what is the procedure, and you should quote one or two examples. That makes it perfect. Okay, so again, next, coming back to this one, competitive analysis and how you created it, and you should not mention that this is automatically calculated. This will be calculated by using the values of relationship value and relative weight value. Okay, so for example, for this column, for all the values, we multiply this value, like relationship value with relative matrix, and we add all those values. It means this 28.6 into 9 plus 9.0 into 0 plus 6.0 into 1 plus 17.9 into 9. In that way we multiply this value with this and add with the next value in the column. In that way we calculate it. That is total weight we get, and the relative weight we will be getting it by adding all these weights and dividing it with each value, like the way we calculated relative weight over here. In the same way we calculate relative weight for all these weight or importance values. Understood? So that should be explained. And you should explain about competitor analysis and what are the values that are allocated to it. And you should not say that the repetitive value is not given. You will be saying that we will be giving values between 0 and 5 based on their importance. Okay, again for technical analysis also you give the same thing. And you explain everything, like what kind of values are given, and you will be mentioning about correlation and what are the symbols that you have used for implementing. For example, for creating giving values to the, when you are speaking about relationship matrix, so when we are giving relationship values we can give three different types of values. This is already written by you but still explaining three different values that should be 0, 3, 1, 3 and 9. And those the symbols that are used for creating is circle with mark and circle and rectangle. Circle with mark will explain about strong relationship, and rectangle will speak about negative relationship. Okay, when we are discussing about correlation, we discuss about four important values will be allocated for the correlation values. They are strong positive correlation, negative correlation, and strong negative correlation. And they are represented by plus 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 minus and down arrow. Okay, so like this you need to explain each and every part and the kind of values that will be allocated to that part. All right, so do it guys. So give your best work, and after completing this one, if you find that, you can include, like for example, you need to justify how the relationship is established. Maybe you can say that maybe from the brainstorming or like from the secondary market secondary research analysis, or you can use some references for that part. Okay, use needed information and complete this section. All right, so this is how we explain five to six important parts, and for each part maybe 100 words is required. So by doing that and giving an explanation related to the confidentiality and lack of information or missing information, it includes maybe another 100 or 200 words. Total it becomes 600 to 800 words, sorry, 700 to 900 words. That's it about the document report 2. All right guys, so just do it, fix it as quick as possible.